Afternoon. We have really good news today. The City Council originally appropriated $30 million for senior home repairs to replace roofs and other essentials for low-income homeowners out of the American Rescue Plan money. And that's going to get about 1,500 homes repaired. But we had a number of our state legislators who said that's not enough. And I'm really pleased to be joined today by Representatives Helena Scott, Tanisha Yancey, Stephanie Young, and Karen Whitsett. They went to work in Lansing and they got another $15 million. And instead of 1,500 homeowners, we're going to be able to help 2,000 homeowners. This is what happens when you have great advocacy in Lansing. And here is what we are trying to do. We have a lot of seniors in this city who paid off their homes, lived in them most of their lives, and are low income now. They've got leaking roofs, they've got problems with windows and the like. We want to make sure the folks who helped build this city can stay in that house. And so the group that is eligible are those who have a HOPE exemption, which is either seniors 62 or older or disabled who own their homes who are low income. And you can go to the city website if you're not already enrolled, detroitmi.gov/HOPE, and get enrolled. But this is where we want to target. We are not going to have our low income seniors pushed out of their houses. I'm really pleased that City Council on Tuesday approved the contracts for the first 200 people to get their roofs repaired. Those roof repairs are going to start in the next few months, and there will be several more contracts coming through. This program has been a partnership between the mayor and City Council, and now it's a partnership between the mayor, City Council, state legislators, and MSHDA. And the way this is going to work is this: October 1st, we are going to start taking the next round of applications. And what will be different is, because of the help from Lansing, it won't just be roofs. We are going to offer you the option of roofs or window replacements. We do know from our first round that we got a lot of folks in this town whose roofs are fine but have cold air blowing into the windows. And with this extra $50 million now, we're going to take the next step and start to secure windows. So starting October 1st, if you have a HOPE exemption, you can apply for the next round of repairs. Those who are already in the queue from the original group, you will all have your answer, if you don't already, in the next couple of months. The first 1,500 will be notified. And so October 1, we're going to open this back up. You can do one thing between now and October 1. If you don't have a HOPE exemption today, you need to get enrolled and get it. If you're 62 or older or you're disabled and you're low income, you can get a partial or entire exemption from your property taxes. You paid for your house, you've been paying taxes for this year, you've earned the right to live your senior years in this city at little to no property taxes, and now you have the ability to get your home fixed. So if you don't have a HOPE exemption, go to the city website, get enrolled, so that when October 1st comes around and we create the new list, you are qualified and ready to go. This really came out of meetings with our legislators who said we need to do more in home repairs. But we don't want to be running a bunch of unconnected, uncoordinated programs. How can we work together? This is the result. I think it's an outstanding result, and I want you to get a chance to hear from each of them. And so at this point, I'll turn it over to a member of the administration who went on to have great success, State Representative Stephanie Young.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, this is an exciting time. Like you said, I used to be a part of the administration. I was the District 1 manager, and one of the calls that we got regularly, Steph, what can we do? What can we do to get a roof fixed for the senior down the street? How can we help them with new windows? And we say we're working on it, And I'll tell you, I couldn't be more excited, Mr. Mayor, to say that, you know, state representatives from Detroit were able to help deliver on these promises to bring help. I'm grateful that the city has taken on this initiative, and that when we look at neighborhoods, when I first started with the city, that was the thing. And the mayor was like, look, neighborhoods are important. That's why we have an entire department of neighborhoods. And who makes up neighborhoods? People who've been here, particularly like our seniors who are going to need this type of help. So I'm just here to say, let's go. Let's be certain that they get it. And then I'm looking forward to, as I hopefully get reelected, hope I can say that, but working further, working even more to bring additional dollars even next year. Look, this is serious because we've got more work to do. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. We've got a wonderful team here that's going to make certain it gets it done. And so with that, I say thank you. And I would like to now introduce my good colleague, Representative Karen Whitsett.
Thank you, Representative Young and the mayor for having this program. It is an exciting time, and you will hear everyone say that over and over and over again. The reason being is because when we're out here and we're talking to our constituents, and I hate to say constituents, our members of our community that we're part of, you know, you hear the complaints and you hear the concerns, and I want to take back the word complaining, because what they are is asking and needing and letting us know how much they need, what they need. And we hear it again and again, and we haven't been able to do anything. But now with this program, we're able to make those changes. We're able to do something for people who deserve to have a difference done in their lives. And that's what means the most when I think about this program and being able to work not only with my colleagues on my side of the aisle, but working on the other side of the aisle. That's what brought this together. And I really appreciate that. And I want to now introduce my colleague, Representative Helena Scott.
Thank you so much. Really excited about this program, really excited to work with the mayor and my colleagues in the State House. We have really been concerned about our constituents in our district, and we've heard their cry, and we are so glad that we have the opportunity right now to provide this money, much needed resources, for them to get things done to their homes. So I just want to say we've worked hard in Lansing. We will continue to work hard, and my motto is I'm always working for my constituents, always working for you, and this is a prime example of this. So thank you, and glad to have this opportunity. And I will introduce Representative Shri Thanedar.
Good afternoon. My name is Shri Thanedar, and I represent the State District in northern Detroit. I see my job as bringing resources to my district and to my city. And I'm so fortunate and excited to be able to work with these 4 great state reps from the Detroit area. And we, in our partnership, are able to bring this money. I get to hear about it all the time when I knock on doors, and how residents need help in home repairs, how residents need help for the state money. And now I'm trying to also, if I'm so successful, like Representative Young said, if I can represent our region in the nation's capital, then I look forward to bringing more money to Detroit area. And that's how I look at my job as, is bringing resources to our district and becoming that advocate for the needs of our district at the state level or at the national level. So I thank the mayor for having been able to work together, and thank my colleagues here. And we need to, this should be just the beginning of many, many more such programs that we hope to bring. Thank you so much.
I will introduce myself. I'm Tanisha Yancey. I am the Detroit Caucus Chair, also the State Representative of House District 1. I am very pleased, and obviously, last but not least, I am very pleased to have worked with the members of the Detroit Caucus to be able to secure these additional resources to help with home repair. I remember knocking doors in 2017, and my first year that I ran, and I literally had to like jump over the porch because this lady's porch was caving in. And once I spoke to her, I realized that she needed additional services inside of her home. Her roof had been leaking for like 3 years. And so while I was able to refer her to my manager at the time, my district manager at the time, I was really pleased this year. This has got to be one of my biggest accomplishments since being in the legislature, to be able to secure additional funding for not only her, but for other residents in not only my community, but their communities as well, to be able to make sure that they have the resources that they need to be able to live safely in their homes. And so with that, I would like to hand it back over to Mayor Duggan.
Shocker, I am not Mayor Duggan. So hi everybody, I am Heather Zamantovich. I'm the Chief of Special Housing Programs at the City of Detroit. I've had the pleasure of running this program since we started it. So I'd say last year when Mayor Duggan approached me about thinking bigger about a home repair program, and we started dreaming about this, before we even knew how much money we were going to get, what we were thinking about is how do we maximize whatever amount we get? And the only way to maximize it is through partnerships. We literally packed in partnerships at every step of the way, between requiring the HOPE approval, which is something that we know many of our neighbors are not aware of, but absolutely can take advantage of, partnering with the DTRF, the Detroit Tax Relief Fund, on the hotline, partnering with Wayne Metro and weatherization so that they could potentially have another place to go for repairs after they come out of our program. We're thinking about every partnership, and then we were lucky enough to work with the Detroit legislators to get this additional funding. So we are thrilled that this is already expanding the program, and I really want to allow Mishta, Tanya Joy, to come up and talk about their piece in this.
Hi, I'm Tanya Joy. I'm here on behalf of the Michigan State Housing Development Authority today. On behalf of the Governor Whitmer, it is a pleasure to present $15 million in U.S. Department of Treasury, American Rescue Plan, Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds for home repairs. This grant program will be transformative for homeowners residing within the city of Detroit. They'll be able to make much-needed repairs, including roofs or windows, that they may otherwise not be able to afford. In addition to the short-term benefit and impact on the households itself, we also see this program having a long-term community impact that improves the existing housing stock and increases area home values. Thank you to the members of the Detroit Legislative Delegation. Without the support of the legislature and governor, this wouldn't be possible. And I'll turn it back over to the mayor. Thank you.
So we have an unexpected guest today. The head of MISHDA, Gary Heidel, has been a great partner. Council President Mary Sheffield started the original Affordable Housing Fund in the city of Detroit with her ordinance, with lots of support from MISHDA. Councilmember Mary Waters, who was a chief architect of the new $200 million affordable housing plan rolled out last week, is a key part of this. But all of it is based on help from MISHDA. The lion's share of the money to build affordable housing comes through MISHDA. So if I'd known he was going to be here, I'd have been waiting with a key to the city. But I want to now invite up to speak Gary Heidel.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Mayor. I mean, Mayor, the last time we talked, you said it was going to be a statue. Anyway, it is a pleasure for me to be here and to be a part of this. I can't tell you how happy I am from the support that comes from the Michigan Detroit Legislative Delegation on helping to do these kinds of things. Because they not only helped with this particular appropriation for the city of Detroit, but helped with even a bigger appropriation that's going statewide. So there's lots of people that are going to benefit from these federal funds that are coming through. And you know, we keep seeing even more things happening on a constant basis. So the Biden administration through the U.S. Treasury Department is already changing guidance on other programs that will bring more financial benefits to the city. So we're really looking forward to working with the mayor, with the city, with the council, and to even do more good work in the city. So again, thank you all.
All right, a statue it is. When these legislators went to work for us and enhanced the program, I was really pleased that two of the leaders on City Council wanted to be here to thank our state legislators personally. They've been two of the strongest advocates for affordable housing on City Council. Council President Mary Sheffield and Council Member Mary Waters. I'd like to ask them to come up now.
Go ahead, Madam President.
You remember at large? You sure? Go ahead, I went first last time.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I don't have a, yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot to say, Madam President. But anyway, so first of all, so thanks. I always appreciate the partnership with Mayor Duggan. And I want to say today as a former state legislator myself, thank you all so much. You see, I understand what it means to be able to bring $15 million home, especially if you're in the minority. I mean, that means you all got real busy working across the aisle. And so I just want to say thank you so very, very much, because there is certainly an outcry, and I appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to echo my colleague, Member Waters. I'm simply here to say thank you. Honestly, I wanted to be here to let you all know how important this is for the city of Detroit. We all have stated that this is a constant theme that we hear on behalf of the residents that we serve. There's not a day that goes by that we probably don't get a call to our office or reminded when we step foot in the community that we need more money for home repairs. Every single time the budget comes before council, we're looking and scrambling for ways that we can allocate money to home repair. But unfortunately, we're faced with a lot of needs, crime in our city and other things that we want to fund. And so we need partnerships like this from the state and also the federal level. We have ARPA funding now, which has been a tremendous support to the efforts of reducing the need for home repairs. But we're just grateful. We're talking about senior citizens who are not going anywhere. They've endured the good and the bad in the city, and this is the least that we can do to give back to them and show them that we love them, that we appreciate them, and that we respect them. And so I have been sounding the alarm for home repairs for 8 years, and I'm glad to know that we have people on the state and federal level that are assisting us. And I can say this is the greatest amount I think that we have had in the 8 years that I've been here. And so the residents of Detroit should be happy, they should be proud, and I encourage everyone who is eligible to please apply. Please go through the process so that we can assist you with making sure that you stay in your home and that we are a part of stabilizing our neighborhood. So thank you to the Detroit delegation. We appreciate you. And I just wanted to be here to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
So the bottom line, last week we had $30 million to help 1,500 homeowners. Today we have $45 million to help 2,000 homeowners. And we're going to keep working together to expand that more and more. If you don't have your HOPE exemption, please apply and get it now. With that, we'll take any questions.
Hi, I had a quick question. This is a specific one about phase 1 of the Renew Detroit program. So I know it says that certain homeowners were conditionally approved. What does that mean exactly for those homeowners?
Thanks, Mayor. So when we go through this process of selection, what we set up last year was a process of first determining eligibility, then conditionally selecting, and then we get to the final approval. So conditional eligibility is focused on 3 things. You're the homeowner that is 62 years older or disabled. You have a active HOPE exemption, and then you haven't received a grant in the last 10 years. Those that met those eligibility criteria, they then went on to get scored, and those top 1,000 are who were conditionally selected. So the reason why we say conditional selection is because the selection criteria, which look at how long you've been in your home, which is the primary thing, because everything you heard today is we're trying to hold down the neighborhood and support those who have been there the longest. So the primary thing in that score is how long you've been there, but it also looks at how many people in your household, how large your exemption is. Is it 100%? Is it 10%? As well as whether or not you've been involved in other home repair programs, indicating need prior to this program. So once we tabulated those scores, we found the top 1,000, you were conditionally selected. The one thing that you don't hear out of those eligibility and scoring requirements is anything about the home. We still do have to go out to the home, make sure one, that the resident that applied is in the home, make sure that the roof is in a condition, one, that it's not so good that it doesn't need repair, because we have found some of those. But we also have to make sure that the home is in good enough condition to receive that roof replacement. So that's really that last piece. So the conditional selection is right in the middle.
And
The first 200 final approvals are when, notices?
Right, so we are putting out the first set of final approvals next week. We've done all of our conditional selections. They occurred in between April and June, and we actually have a large amount of our team here today, many of whom are literally walking 125 homes a week, going out and doing those assessments. So to date, we've done just under 850 of those assessments, and so the first 200 are going to be the ones that move forward and not only get notified very soon, but also will have their roofs done and replaced this year.
And then really quickly about the costs. So what are like the rough estimates for how much each roof costs? And then same question for the window replacements. And do rising costs kind of impact any of those repairs?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Rising costs definitely are taken into account here. So when we announced this program last year, we were looking at an average anywhere between like $7,000 and $13,000 per roof replacement, the way that we go out to bid. Now it's definitely looking a little bit more. Probably more like 9 to 15, if not a little bit higher. We've also heard rumors right now that glass prices may be going up as high as 50% in the next 6 months. So I also could give you a number on windows, but we know that we need to watch the market carefully. So when you're hearing our numbers, we're talking about 30 million, 1,500 repairs, 45 million, 2,000. We are making sure that every single person we select, we can serve despite what happens to the cost, the rising cost, because we know everybody's impacted by that right now. We want to make sure that every single person that we reach out to does receive their home repair.
And just to clarify, 9 to 1,500, that you said 9, that's 1,500, right? 900 to 1,500?
No, $9,000 to $15,000.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Yeah, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Quick question, Mr. Mayor. Home weatherization has been actually my first job after being a council was working for home weatherization. What is the not the requirements, what is going to be the guidelines of making sure the citizens get a fair share of being able to be evaluated to even get the program? We hear of these programs, and then then everybody's complaining.
Weatherization is a different program, but the process is really pretty simple, and I think the people who are in it know. We have, I think, 2,000 people with a score right now. Bottom line is this: you're 62 years old or older or disabled, you own your own home, and you're below basically poverty level income, which we verify when you get your HOPE exemption. We had something like 2,000 people qualify for that, for the repairs. Then we score you. How long you've been in the homes. People who've been in their homes 20 and 30 years get scored higher than somebody who's been in 4 or 5 years. If you have grandchildren and there's 5 or 6 people in the house, you get a higher score than when there's one person in a house. And so we have a scoring process. Everybody has their score. People know what their score is. And we're working our way down from 1 to 2,000. And we're going to have all of them done by the end of 2024. That's the American Rescue Plan requirements. And with the help today, we are now moving down to 2,000 people who are going to get their homes repaired over the next 3 years.
Now, are we using Detroit citizens, or is there a work like with the weatherization program? There was a training part of it connected to it. So whether or not the house gets fixed, is it all these people coming from outside the city of Detroit working on the city of Detroit houses? Or are we going to do like they did with weatherization, train young men and women to do the work so when they get through with the program, they know how to do the work?
That's a great question. So my team, definitely the council members that we work with every day, are committed to getting Detroiters working on this project. So we've been working hand in hand with Detroit at Work to start looking at what we could potentially develop as a work training program. Because we know that right now, there is no specific residential program for doing something like roofing. There are many different programs you can go through, but we're trying to figure out what is the right combination for a residential home repair renovator. So that's something that we are actively working on with our colleagues. In the meantime, because we know that even if that comes online next year, we still need to do something now. And so what we did was we did extensive outreach with multiple different partners. We had probably the most bids that procurement has seen in quite some time on our roofing contracts. And what came out of that the strategic way that we wrote them, the way that we did our outreach, we ended up with, out of 4 contractors that are coming online this fall, 2 of them are Detroit-based, and a third is a minority-owned. So 75% of what is working on our projects, we're very excited about that.
So I guess, the other question I would ask, and I would, if Ms. Yancey, Scott, and Sheffield could answer this maybe together or separately. We know we got issues with non-skilled young men and women in our communities, especially with you on the way to the court. What are we doing to make sure that there's no discrimination against the federal, felonies and stuff like that for somebody to work on somebody's house to be able to have, because I know even when we were doing the cleanup, Mr. Mayor, unfortunately, they was trying to say if people have felonies. Sometimes we know those people, and I know Ms. Sheffield does the corner stuff, and Helena's always out in the community. But Ms. Yancey, en route to the court, what are we going to do, or can we make sure that we're not excluding people because of their issues? Are we working with people?
So, and I'll let Madam President speak more in detail to this because I am not a City of Detroit employee. However, I am aware of programs that the City of Detroit have undertaken that shows that they are felon-friendly. And so those programs include the expungement program, or the, what is your program called exactly? The Clean Slate program on the Detroit level. And then I just spoke to a young man 2 days ago regarding an expungement, and he said that he was like the poster child of returning citizens to get employed by the City of Detroit. So I, for one, as a legislator, it's not quite my job to oversee that. However, I do know, and I have been involved enough to know that the City of Detroit is doing a really good job at ensuring that felons are employed not only as subcontractors, but actually employees for the City of Detroit.
I think she addressed it well. We have Ban the Box in the city, and so that is a part of making sure that we have a welcoming environment for individuals who have a criminal past. We just had a presentation for Skills for Life, and a portion of those residents who are in that program have a background, have history of convictions, but we still welcome that in that program, and they're gaining skills as they go throughout that process. So we do whatever we can. We actually are launching, and I think it's Member Durhal is launching the Returning Citizens Task Force again this term, and so he's going to be laser focused on that issue as well.
All right. We got a couple more. Go ahead. You thought of something else. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have one other question. It's about the Senior Emergency Home Repair Program. What's the status of that? Can you kind of walk through that for residents?
So last year when we announced the start of the Renew Detroit program, at the same time that opened, they did close down the Senior Emergency Home Repair wait list. The key thing there is that you're hearing emergency in the name of that program. And at the time that they shut down the wait list, it was exceptionally long, potentially taking up to as long as 3 years from the time you got on the list to when we were able to serve them. So what they're doing right now, it is still funded, and they are still working through that list. And we look forward to figuring out how all these programs work together when they do get to the end of that wait list.
Don't go too far, Heather. Question from Ariel Cass at Crane. She's wondering how about the scope of the need. How many total applications did we get for phase 1 of Renew Detroit?
Right, so we had about 2,300 applicants that came in who were eligible.
All right. And back into the senior home repair, I'll give you a sense of this, and Councilmember Sheffield advocated for it. We were getting maybe $3, $4, $5 million a year, mainly out of block grant. The idea that we're talking $45 million just dwarfs the kind of investment in home repairs in this city has ever seen, and it's been because of everybody up here working together. So thank you again for all the work that you did.